Hello everyone and welcome to the Exertion Sports YouTube channel. I am Myles
I'm Cody.
and this is the first video. We're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves, just kind of what our goals are, just a little bit about the channel, a little bit ourselves, and a little bit about our sports history and stuff like that. But we'll talk a little bit first off of our history and how we met. Would you like to start off how we met?
Sure, yeah. So as far as how we met, I was actually at both of our first jobs. I'd been there for just a few months when Myles started.
Yep.
And back then, I believe you were a weekend worker.
It was actually summertime, so I was able to work. I was only 15 at the time, so I was actually only able to work the weekends until school let out. And I went there maybe a couple weeks before school let out. But yeah, I only worked on the weekends. And I could only work from like 11 a.m. to 7 because of my age. It was very restricted, but I could still work, and that's what I did for a little bit until I turned 16, and then I was able to be abused.
Yep, and that job was definitely abusive. That's all I'll say there.
Yeah.
But it was a great character builder. And just to go a little bit more in depth, as I said, I'm Cody. I'm from North Carolina, just like Myles. We're both from small towns, and we have that small town upbringing. We don't really come from richness or fame or anything like that. We're just here to try and pursue a passion.
Yeah, love sports. That's a big thing for both of us, of course. Kind of like talking about the channel in regards to what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about sports as the big overcast, but we're going to be playing Xbox games or video games in general, even on PlayStation and such, of just sports. We're going to be playing that, talking about sports news, breaking news. We're going to have little mini games of stuff. Maybe if we travel to a sports event, we're going to cover that and stuff. There's some local teams we might go check out and stuff like that. So that was definitely something that we were considering doing and looking more into. I think it would be fun. But overall, it's just going to be us and sports, kind of talking about how that is.
Yeah, the main sections are going to be our news. We're going to give you guys the latest and what's going on. If there's any kind of breaking news, it's going to be your boy Myles over here. We're going to definitely do the video game thing, but we want to set it straight. This is not a video game channel.
Exactly.
That's just something we do for fun because we think you guys might like it. We're going to have mini games, like he said, and that may just be both of us playing a little game here. It doesn't necessarily have to be a video game or anything like that. There are plenty of places you can look for inspiration on that. As far as channel expectations, we've got a big goal set for ourselves right now. We're looking to get 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and we know that every single one of you can help us do that and accomplish that. The more subscribers we get, the more people can reach with this content, and hopefully we can make someone's day better.
Yeah. And so, mainly a part of that as well is our plan is to upload every day at least once. So, of course, like we did, there will be, we kind of have a schedule that we're sticking to, kind of uploading and stuff like that. You'll learn more about that as the time goes on. We're going to keep that kind of structured. But we also plan on, of course, like you said, I'm doing the updates and stuff like that. If there's breaking news or anything, I plan to post a reaction kind of talking about that. So you may get 2, 3, 4 videos, even a day sometimes. I'm not guaranteeing that. But there will be days you may get 3 videos and stuff like that. And for special events such as playoffs or holidays, that's definitely something that we're going to be interested in, bringing that forward for you guys.
You also definitely want to make sure to check out our social media links in the description below, because we will be posting content on social media that you may not find on our YouTube channel. And I'll be, heading that up pretty hard. Myles will be there too, but we want to try to make sure we stay connected with you guys as many ways as possible. And I really also think that before we go any further, you should probably tell them what is Exertion.
Mm-hmm. So Exertion is actually a brand that I created in April of 2018. So it's a little over a year now. It's been rolling it up. It started off as an esports gaming team. I've competed in the esports a little bit. It first off started off with my love for Rocket League, and I actually competed back in the day with MLG game battles and stuff like that. But then it functioned into a Call of Duty team, which I have traveled with to Atlanta, Las Vegas, Fort Worth in the past year, and we have a couple teams. I don't want to mainly focus on that. That stuff maybe we'll touch it even in the esports industry as well. But yeah, mainly it was in esports, and we're branching off here to talk about other sports as well. So esports maybe, but I can promise you, gaming is not the main highlight of this channel. it's going to be mainly the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, FIFA, and more sports.
Yeah.
Olympics are definitely going to be covered, any World Cup or anything like that.
Plus college. We like college basketball. We like college football. There's that big XFL drop that's coming soon. And we might even cover a little WWE and AEW.
Yeah.
So stay tuned there. And we're always looking for suggestions on what sports you want us to cover the most. So just let us know if there's one that matters more to you than another one.
Exactly. And that brings forth another point is we're going to be kind of in a process of learning sports more as we go along. Because between us both, I would say that I do know more about sports than
a lot
he
more.
does. And even like his favorite sport, I know more about. But it's just because I've watched it my whole life. So NFL, we'll go sport by sport if you'd like. I'm a Panthers fan, Carolina Panthers fan, born and raised, always been around. He doesn't hate them.
I love the Panthers just because I'm from North Carolina. That's the home team. That's not my favorite team. My favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys, and you can puke if you want to, or you can cheer if you want to, because those are the only two reactions that team gets. But I am strong, and I'm keeping with it. Dallas Cowboys, no matter what that record is.
And that's kind of our knowledge. I know a lot about that in regards to other teams and stuff, and I think he knows a fair amount. If they're pretty popular, I'm sure he knows about them.
And if not, I'm learning.
Yeah. And then on to NBA. Do you have a favorite NBA team?
Not anymore. I played around there a little bit with the Bulls, but I think that was just because of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So right now I am open to the NBA. I need to get more invested and see what team is my favorite. So this is a unique experience for me.
Yeah. For me, I'm a Lakers fan. I'm not a bandwagon fan. This is the only team I really pull for that's outside besides like a club that doesn't compete in the United States. But the Lakers I've pulled for them ever since the start. It's something my grandfather did, and it got passed down to me. So the good and the bad, I've always loved it. So that's my team. I'm not as big of a LeBron fan as I am a Kobe fan. But if LeBron wins me a championship, I'm going to like him a lot more. But I Lakers fan there all the way. I know quite a bit. I need to learn more about that. I know a lot about, like, the trades and stuff like that that's went off this offseason and stuff that needs to be covered. And that's something that definitely I'm interested in learning more about basketball because I haven't as much. And also, I feel bad for the Hornets. If that's the team that you like, I'm sorry for you because they unfortunately have had a terrible offseason.
And that's our home team.
Yeah.
So
that's my second favorite team. Yeah. So if they were to make it in the Lakers, I would pull for the Hornets. But unfortunately, it's hard for me. I think Michael Jordan shouldn't be the owner. But we'll get to that another day. But
how about hockey?
Hockey. I'm a Hurricanes fan through and through. That is the only professional team in Carolina that's ever won anything. I remember watching it in 2006 Stanley Cup playoffs against the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, what a beautiful game! But I'm a fan. I got out of hockey for a little bit because there was such a long spell where the Hurricanes were just absolute trash, and it's hard to watch your team lose. I think they play 82-ish games a year, and that's just rough to see it constantly. But I'm a big hockey fan. I watched it all this offseason stuff. That's not something you're as familiar with, though, is it?
I'm not. So for those who don't know, in the South, hockey is just now becoming a mainline sport, I'd say, with the success of the Carolina Hurricanes in this area. We really more focus on other sports down here. Not to say hockey's bad. Hockey is brutal, and I mean that in a good way. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting introduced to that as well. But I'm sure that Myles is going to try to pull me in the Carolina Hurricanes bandwagon.
I will. But, another thing about that, too, is they're not hated as much by around the league, but also they are the loudest stadium in all NHL. They've determined that. So I'm trying to get him to be a Caniac like me. By the way, the Carolina Hurricanes and the Carolina Panthers both follow me on Twitter. That's my favorite thing.
We'll drop there. So let's move on. How about college basketball? Because we're going to be covering that.
I am NC State throughout all college. I'm a NC State Wolfpack fan throughout them all. I don't like the Tar Heels at all. Okay, I can't stand the Tar Heels. My grandfather pulled for Duke, so I will favor Duke over Carolina. So if that ever happens and they play, you're a Tar Heel fan, aren't you?
Oh, through and through. As far as basketball is concerned, I am 100% a Tar Heel fan. There is no team to me that matters more. As far as football is concerned, you said you're a State fan about that too.
Yeah.
I'm also on that one reconsidering what my favorite is. I had a favorite team. That was just because of a player that played there. So now I'm going to take a step back on that. So for now, we'll just say home team Tar Heels. But if someone impresses me,
then you'll.
I may go that way.
All right, so he's a bandwagon.
No, absolutely not. For example, everyone in my family, I think, growing up was a Volunteers fan.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
That's pretty popular around here.
I'm not
I
a
couldn't pull
Volunteers
for
fan.
Volunteers either. Yeah. But let's see. So we talked baseball.
The Braves. That's the one thing we agree on.
Yeah, we agree on that one. That's the only sport I think that we currently agree on. There's a couple other sports and stuff like that, but I've been a Braves fan. Chipper Jones has been my all-time favorite player, of course. Unfortunately, he's gone, of course. But now, who's your favorite player now?
He was also my favorite player, Chipper Jones. I don't know about now. I know they're having a good session right now. They're looking good this year. But I'm still feeling that one out. But Braves through and through, that was one of my first actual sporting events I've ever been to was a Braves game. And so, I hold that memory fond and dear. So that one you won't see too much banter about here. Let's see. What do we have left?
Well, we have FIFA. We have football.
Yeah, that's right. Football.
The real football.
Yeah, football or soccer here in America.
Yeah.
I know that Myles, especially in the past few years, has really dove deep into soccer or football. On my end, I don't even know all the rules to the game. I know you're supposed to kick the ball into the net, and I know that it can be way more dangerous since they're not covered in pads. But we'll see what happens. My goal is to not like whatever team he likes, just to cause a rift.
Well, if that's the case, I know who he's going to pull for. But one of our other friends pulls for the rival. But there's another rival in that mix that I think that you should pull for if you're going to pick it.
Well, first maybe tell him who you like.
Okay, so I like Real Madrid, okay? I am with Los Blancos. Madridista, right here. A la Madrid y nada más. That is the word I live by. Hell Madrid, no more. Nothing more. But anyway, I'm for that. One of our friends, he is a Barcelona fan, which is the rivalry. It used to be bigger when we had Ronaldo versus Messi, which was always a great match to see. And you got it at least twice a year, but now Ronaldo's gone to Juventus.
Yeah, if those of you who aren't familiar with soccer or football, that rivalry, think Green Bay and the Vikings, or Dallas and the Redskins, Duke and Carolina. Those are big rivalries you can compare it to. I mean, they really go all in when they play those games.
They do. Those are it's called El Clásico, which is the classical, and it's the most watched, one of the most watched sports games, rivalries of all time.
Period.
I mean, it's bigger than the Bears and Packers, which is like going to be the first NFL game this year. It's bigger than that. It's crazy. A lot of people tune in to watch that, especially more when it was Ronaldo versus Messi. But even now that's not the case. It is a large sum of people do watch that match because of the history with the clubs, and it's huge. But the other rivalry between the three is Atletico Madrid, which is in the same. So we would have the derby to play, which I don't like Atletico. Atletico Madrid just played, and it was not pretty for Real Madrid. It was.
Well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see who I side with. That's an adventure you can take part with us. I think the last thing we'll be covering is wrestling. So my favorite wrestler is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So what's your favorite? Do you like AEW or WWE more?
AEW's not been around long enough for me to choose AEW.
AEW easy, baby. AEW, screw WWE, WCW. Let's bring back the war.
I'm down for the war. The war was the best ratings, but let me tell you something. No one will be better than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Through and through, no one's going to be better than him.
You don't think anybody will be better than Stone Cold?
No. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Favorite wrestler of all time? I really like Christian. I know he's kind of underrated. Christian was always like...
But he's hilarious.
I know. I loved Christian. I loved the Peep Show. Loved when he was with Edge and stuff. But I just loved... Christian was like my favorite growing up, I think. I liked Christian a lot, and I like Chris Jericho. I like those a lot. Those were a lot of my favorite.
Chris Jericho's actually been wrestling with AEW lately.
Yeah,
so maybe he knows the way to go. We'll see what happens, but that's really all the sports we'll be covering right now.
Except for, we got the World Cup and the Olympics. I pull for the United States. I don't know how you pull.
But of course we'll cover that stuff, guys. Yeah. But, we're running on here a little bit. So just want to give you an idea of who we are, what we're into, who we pull for. That doesn't mean we're going to be biased whenever we deliver news or anything like that.
Or prediction. Well, maybe a little prediction. We'll see.
We'll be completely, unbiased if there's a news story that comes out. As far as the facts, you will get the facts. And then we may give you an opinion. But that doesn't mean it has to be your opinion.
Yeah. Just disclaimer, usually my breaking news are probably going to be opinions. And what my thought is, because I want to try to break those down, tell you how I feel about that in regards to the team that does that and stuff. So
Facts first, though.
Facts will be first. The facts will be like what happened, and then I'll give my opinion. But I'll make sure to disclose that.
All right, so I think that pretty much wraps up who we are, why we're here, what we're doing. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. We'll be happy to monitor those, check those out, respond to you as quick as we can. Make sure you follow all of our social media links down in the description below so that you can get that extra content on all those different platforms. And is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off here?
No, I guess they're going to get to see a little bit of what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned because we have a little bit of a teaser coming for what's going to be on the channel. Ife Obada.
Here we go. We're keeping with the European. I know this.
Oh my gosh.
You can see his name. All right, I'll put it on the screen for you all as well. Right.
Hello, everybody.